Hi and welcome to Geekology. I'm David.
And I'm Sven.
And tonight we're reviewing Star Trek, the official Starship collections by Eaglemoss, issues 74 and 75. Now you can see we only have one of each. That's due to the fact that mine haven't arrived just yet. So Sven, would you like to go for the magazine and I'm going to unbox yours and I've got sticky hands.
What a dick.
You know, you're not the first to say it, but you are the first man to say that.
No, I'm not. Because some of our viewers have been in the room and that's happened.
Ooh.
Am I wrong?
I can't remember. How drunk was I at the time?
Issue 74 is the Bajoran Raider, type strike fighter.
Radar?
Radar.
Really? It's from MASH.
Anyway, crew 2, length 33.1 metres. Little ship. Big model.
Yeah, it is a big model for a little ship.
108.96 metric tons of impulse, 2 phaser emitters. These won't even walk over well, okay.
No, they weren't. They were impulse fighters.
Okay. There we go, that's a CG shot of the ship, obviously. Yeah. Now, they did make models of this, didn't they? 'Cause it was quite early on in Deep Space Nine. Yeah, quite a bit of detail on some nice shots actually there from DS9 itself. That's quite cool. And Mr. I've been in everything. It's quite cool. Oh, that's a nice bit of topography there. It's quite a lot of detail there. It's quite nicely picked out. So of course it was running around in the circle and things like that, wasn't it?
Mm.
So it was. Designing the radar. They base the Federation. Well, it seems very similar to sort of like the Federation radar, sort of like internally, doesn't it?
Yeah, they chopped off the back piece in it, haven't you? They tweaked it.
Yes. Bit of information about the Bajorans and how they created those. Obviously, Benson Rowe being quite a major part of that. Most people probably don't realise that Benson Rowe was supposed to follow over into Deep Space Nine and be the first
Yeah,
officer.
but they legged her over with a contract.
Yeah, and she went, no, and when you did, and ended up an admiral instead. Which is fair.
To be brutally honest, I really like the actress.
Yeah.
I loved the character of Rowe. I'm glad she ended up in Battlestar instead, to be fair.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just because I have a horrible feeling that they wouldn't have done good things with the character, and additionally Kira would have ended up being very different.
Yeah, true.
And I liked Kira. I thought their use of Kira was good.
Bit more information about the background of the Bajorans and their religious beliefs, and then
We believe!
and the key appearances, shadows and symbols, the circle, etc., etc. DS9. Yep, reasonable mag, does the job.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at that ship. That's quite big, isn't it?
It is. And aside from one thing that I don't like, I think it's an excellent model.
Quite a lot of detail on there.
Yeah.
Not a lot of stuff picked out, but then it's not supposed to be, is it?
The back engine should have been picked out in not quite a coppery gold. It should actually be that sort of colour rather than being white.
Whitey grey colour.
Yeah.
Okay. What have they put it on there? See, it's whitey grey there.
It is, but flick through a couple more. You'll find, there you go.
Yeah. So it should be in a coppery colour.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's just, yeah, you can argue that.
The thing is, they could have changed the colour scheme slightly between the episodes.
Yeah. But the detailing is nice.
Yeah.
The way it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels.
It's a chunk
really
of a model.
Good. It is.
That's definitely 11 quid's worth.
The downside for me is the way that the cockpit has been joined onto the model. But in all fairness to the actual model, it's quite close. It's just, I think the line across the sides is a bit more pronounced than I would have preferred.
Though to be fair,
But that's
it does
just me
look
being picky.
awfully like on the original model and on the CG model that it literally had been stuck on.
Well, I did say that.
Yeah, so it's kind of.
I just think the join might have said,
Yeah.
That's only me being picky. It's.
Though I've got a feeling that's accurate. Just maybe not as aesthetically pleasing as we might have liked. But yeah.
It's getting an 8.5 out of
Yeah, it's no problem there. So I'll give it 8.
Actually, I'm giving it the 8.5 just because it's everything it should be. The problem is, I have no love for that ship.
No, quite.
I barely remembered the ship, to be honest.
Well, you're not a massive fan of DS9, are you? As we've explored previously.
No, to be fair, I've watched all of DS9 a couple of times. I enjoyed DS9. There were bits that I didn't like as much as others. But, yeah, it's not a ship that particularly resonates with me. On the other hand, go Eaglemoss, because as we've said numerous times with other models, how else would you have seen it?
Yeah, so I don't think that's even been attack winged yet.
I very much doubt it would be, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right, should we move on to the next one?
75, which is the Cousteau, which is the captain's yacht for the 1701E Enterprise. Launch 2372. How are they defining launch there? Launch of the Enterprise E, or the first time it undocked from the Enterprise E?
That's a good question.
Anyway.
Because technically it is a ship in its own right.
Yeah.
So its official launch would have been whenever it was launched off and then docked in.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to build it in situ.
No,
as it
quite.
were.
Right, so auxiliary craft. Well,
I always thought it was a shame they never did the one from the D.
yes, that would have been cool.
I'd have liked to.
Even if
have
it was a
seen
big oval like a UFO was going to drop down.
Actually, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me very much of the spaceship from the original. The original V.
Especially with the little legs that were coming out of it. Is that? Yes, right, so the captain's yacht. Warp powered, 33.5 kilometres long, it's got a torpedo launcher, phaser banks, tachyon pulse.
Yes, it has a tachyon
Okay.
pulse. But interestingly enough, only that version of it has the tachyon pulse.
No, it wasn't on the D. Well, we don't know what was on the D. Ones to be on the one.
Phasers, no torpedo, impulse, no warp.
No, because there was no warp missiles on it.
No warp missiles. Not even hidden ones.
CG shot of it. Obviously, we only ever saw it really in Insurrection, unless it was actually still stuck on the bottom of the Enterprise's saucer section. Large cargo area. Yep. Cockpit was a comfortable place, except when under attack. Duh. I love the fact they refer to it as a more sumptuous version of the runabout cockpit. I hope so, it's the captain's yacht. Should have reclining leather seats and at least drink service. Am I wrong?
Hot and cold running ensigns, yeah.
Yeah, and hot and cold running Shakespeare as well, considering the captain. There we have the new deluxe yacht with bigger windows. So they went through some work on that, did they? Right, okay.
Evidently. Actually, you know what? If you take off the nacelles, I've never viewed it like this, but if you take off the nacelles, doesn't that look like one of those new speedboats?
Yeah. Does that mean they
wasn't Dexter on the back of this once killing?
Yeah. So what was you design this slightly? Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Okay, so the original version of the captain's yacht didn't have quite the same look to it if it could have appeared in First Contact, it would have been slightly different. Right, okay. Because of course the Enterprise E went through huge changes really when you think about it. Considering it's the same ship and the amount of little detail changes that are altered all over it. At one point they were playing with the idea of having the special shuttlecraft instead. They didn't do that. An early version of the scout ship would actually look like Defiant with bits cut off. And the first version of the hollow ship was basically an updated. Would that have had 2 nacelles or 4? I can't remember. Well, it would have been 2 nacelles by the looks of it.
So you're looking at the cash shadow.
Yeah, so that would have been okay. That's an ugly lump of non-ship. Anyway, I never understood that with the hollow ship. It's like, why does it look like it's Borg? Concept art from Insurrection, which is one of the most derided for no particular reason films ever made. Everybody goes. It was just like a two-part episode of Next Gen.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, and
yeah, it amazed me. And people went, "Oh, you know, it's just like sitting for a really long episode."
good. That's kind of.
I like sitting for really long episodes. That's why it's.
Let's face it. If it had been a two-part episode on the TV, we would have lapped it up. It would have been cool.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Because they launched it as what it was.
Yeah.
A film. People are like, oh no. If they'd had to have done that as an episode, it'd be like Chains of Command. People would be going, oh, did you?
Yeah.
Did you see Insurrection? It was awesome. They should have just put an interview.
And this is the reason why Frakes couldn't direct Nemesis. Good move, Paramount. Nicely done.
Yeah, but again, that brings back that the old argument of, is it a Star Trek movie, or is it a movie about Star Trek? Because that's what it is.
Because the thing is, Insurrection is a very good piece of Star Trek. It's a decent piece of science fiction.
It's a good film.
It's a good bit of Star Trek. It's very good Next Gen, but it doesn't make a good film because it feels like a TV show.
No. I quite as a standalone film, I think it's okay. Not great, but it's okay. But as a piece of Star Trek, it's marvellous.
Yeah,
Ticks all the boxes.
Yeah, even if we have got an animal who's been infected by Section 31 by the looks of it. And then a mention of the next issue, which is Neelix's ship.
Yes.
So I'm sure you'll be looking forward to that.
Well, you know what? Again, with the Go Eagle. Okay, so for me, the downsides the things I'm gonna pick on it for are there should be red inside both of those ports just there.
Yeah.
Okay, and the second thing I'm gonna pick on it for is that should have been picked out. And if I wanted to be really funny, you could complain that they didn't put a dot or mark the plastic in there, but that would have been really fiddly to do, and I love the fact they put perspex in there to begin with. Plus sides for this model, the warp nacelles are gorgeous. This is probably the best warp nacelle they have done thus far, just because it's perfect. It looks really, really nice. As I said, could have done with some more picking out, but I'm really happy with that model. I think it's everything that they should be.
It's amazing how they make a bit of an Enterprise better than they do
an Enterprise.
Yeah. Well done.
So what would you pick on it for?
See, I'm not so convinced about those warp nacelles. That join line down the side, but
you know what it is? I've seen that many bad ones recently that maybe a mediocre one is.
See, the thing is that because of the way that the warp nacelles look anyway, it probably hides the join line reasonably well. I mean, the back panel here should be a little bit more obvious that they've got these little squares at the back, but I'm not going to worry about it.
I did a lot of fiddling on a model that size.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of detail being picked out.
Is it just the red just there really
that's
slightly
annoying. Yeah. But yeah, it does the job, doesn't it?
It really
does.
does.
Quite a nice piece of work. Not as heavy as I'd like it to be.
Is that one that you cherry pick?
Yeah, because I'm an Enterprise collector. And even though it's a bit of an Enterprise, it's still
a bit of an Enterprise.
So yeah. And it's an unusual vessel. I assume every Sovereign class starship has a captain's yacht. They
do slightly different configuration, but
yeah, because I would assume this has had 3 different versions of it. One for First Contact that was different from this, and Nemesis was one would have been different if we'd seen it in either of those films, because they keep altering things on the E anyway. Yeah.
So yeah, how are you going to score it?
I'm going to give it 9 because other than that join line which annoyed me, and maybe the red that could have been red there. That's it. It's an unusual thing for them to have done. So yeah, those are your escape hatches. So yeah, I'm going to give it 9 because I mean, to be honest with you, I was quite impressed with the E.
Yeah.
So we've blown up a bit of the E. Cool.
I'll give it a 9 as well.
Okay. Cool.
There we are. Right. Well, that was very short and sweet.
Yes. It's amazing what you can do when you've got ships that haven't got huge amounts of
Yeah, we end up with really quick little episodes. Yeah, some of them recently have been shocking.
Oh yeah, and you just think to yourself, these are vessels where you haven't got reference shots coming out of your ears, like say, I don't know,
the Enterprise. Yeah.
And yet you get models that are at least that are this good. Yeah, with no reference shots, with the refit and the Enterprise A, which has some of the best photography you could possibly get of the damn model, we get those that we had. And I'm just, how does that work? How does that work?
Deep breath. Right, well, those are our comments. We'd love to hear yours. You can leave them in the section below. You can subscribe to us here on YouTube. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And of course, there is the official Geekology website. Thank you for watching and good night.
Bye.